Every day, billions of people tap, insert, or swipe their credit cards without a second thought. The small golden square embedded in the plastic looks simple, almost decorative. But inside that tiny chip lives one of the most advanced security systems in modern finance. It is not just storing numbers. It is thinking, calculating, encrypting, and defending your money in real time. That chip is not a passive object. It is a miniature computer designed to fight fraud every time you make a purchase. To understand why it matters, we first need to go back to how cards used to work, and why they failed so badly. Why magnetic stripes became a security disaster. For decades, credit cards relied on magnetic stripes, the black strip on the back of old cards. That stripe stored your card number, expiration date, and security information in plain form. Every time you swiped, the same fixed data was transmitted to the payment terminal. This created a massive security flaw. If a criminal copied that data once using a skimming device, they could reuse it endlessly. The card itself offered no protection. It could not detect fraud. It could not change its data. It simply repeated the same information over and over again. That is why cloned cards became common in the early 2000s. Criminal networks could steal millions by duplicating magnetic stripe data. The technology was cheap to attack and expensive for banks to clean up. The solution required something fundamentally different, a card that could think instead of merely store. The birth of the MV Smart Card. The modern chip card is built on the MV standard created by Europay, MasterCard, and Visa. Instead of acting like a tape recorder, the card would act like a computer. This was a radical shift. Rather than transmitting static information, the card would actively participate in each transaction. It would verify itself, encrypt its data, and generate unique transaction codes that could not be reused. This single change transformed card security worldwide. Countries that adopted MV saw dramatic drops in in-store card fraud. The key difference is simple but powerful. Magnetic stripes repeat data, while chips compute data. What is actually inside a credit card chip? That golden square contains multiple components working together inside a few millimeters of silicon. At its center is a microprocessor, a tiny CPU similar in concept to the one inside your phone, just far smaller and specialized for security tasks. This processor runs cryptographic algorithms and manages the transaction flow. Next is secure memory. This memory stores card credentials, encryption keys, and certificates. Unlike normal storage, it is protected by hardware barriers. Attempts to probe or alter it physically can trigger automatic erasure. The chip also runs a minimal operating system. This OS controls how applications behave during a transaction and enforces strict rules about what data can be accessed. Finally, there is a cryptographic engine, a hardware module dedicated to encryption. It rapidly generates digital signatures and security codes that protect each payment. This is why your card is not a memory device. It is an embedded security computer. What happens when you insert your card? When you insert your card into a reader, a fast and complex conversation begins. First, the terminal powers the chip through the metal contacts. The chip wakes up and identifies itself securely. It does not trust the terminal automatically. Next comes authentication. The chip uses digital certificates and secret keys to prove that it is genuine and has not been cloned. This process relies on public key cryptography, the same mathematics that secures online banking. Once authenticated, the chip prepares the transaction data. But it does not send your real card number in a reusable form. Instead, it creates a cryptogram, a unique encrypted code that represents this exact transaction, this amount, this merchant, this time. That cryptogram is valid once and only once. The terminal sends this encrypted package to the bank. The bank uses its own copy of the secret keys to verify the code. If everything matches, the transaction is approved. All of this happens in seconds, invisibly. Why dynamic encryption changes everything. The core security upgrade of chip cards is dynamic data. With magnetic stripes, criminals could steal static card details and reuse them. With chip cards, every transaction is different. Even if a hacker intercepted the data mid-transaction, it would be useless later. The cryptogram cannot be replayed. It expires immediately. This makes large-scale card cloning nearly impossible at physical terminals. It is the difference between stealing a house key and stealing a self-destructing access code. Built-in defense systems. Credit card chips are not only smart, they are paranoid by design. They assume they are under constant attack. Inside the silicon are sensors that monitor voltage, clock speed, temperature, and physical integrity. If someone tries to open the chip, freeze it, overheat it, or inject electrical faults to extract secrets, the chip can instantly shut down or erase its protected memory. These defenses were first developed for military ID cards, passports, and intelligence hardware. The same principles now protect everyday wallets. This means your card is not just encrypting data, it is actively defending itself against forensic hacking techniques. In a very real sense, you carry a tamper-resistant security device built with the mindset of a spy agency. How contactless tap-to-pay works. When you tap your card, it uses NFC, near-field communication, a short-range radio system that works only within a few centimeters. The process is nearly identical to inserting the card. The terminal powers the chip wirelessly. The chip authenticates itself. A one-time cryptogram is created. The only difference is speed. Because no physical contact is needed, transactions happen faster, but security remains the same. The card never broadcasts your real number openly. Contrary to popular myths, tap-to-pay is not less secure. It uses the same cryptography as chip insert transactions. The hidden role of banks and card networks. The chip alone is not enough. Behind every transaction stands a massive global infrastructure. Banks store secure versions of your card's cryptographic keys. Payment networks like Visa and MasterCard act as encrypted highways moving data between merchants and banks. When your card sends its one-time code, the bank must validate it instantly. Fraud detection systems analyze location, spending patterns, and risk scores in real time. This back-end intelligence is why payments feel instant, but are actually the result of global cryptographic coordination. Chip and PIN versus chip and signature. Different countries authenticate users differently. In chip and PIN systems, the card verifies your identity using a secret code. This is harder to forge and reduces fraud from stolen cards. In chip and signature systems, identity is verified by signature comparison, which is weaker. Most of Europe and Asia use PIN by default. The United States historically relied on signatures, though PIN usage is increasing. The chip works the same in both systems, only the human authentication layer changes. The future of card technology. Even chip cards are evolving. Some new cards include fingerprint sensors built into the card itself, requiring biometric verification before a transaction. Others use dynamic CVV numbers. The 3-digit code on the back changes periodically using a tiny display, making stolen card numbers far less useful for online fraud. In the future, physical cards may merge more tightly with digital wallets, government IDs, and wearables, blending hardware security with cloud authentication. Your wallet may shrink, but its technology will grow. A tiny chip with enormous responsibility. That small golden square in your wallet is one of the most quietly powerful computers you own. Every time you pay, it verifies identities, encrypts secrets, defeats fraud attempts, and coordinates with global banking systems, all in seconds. It never asks for attention, it never displays a screen. Yet it protects trillions of dollars in daily commerce. The chip may be small, but the technology behind it is anything but. Before you tap your card again, remember that tiny chip is quietly fighting fraud every second of the day, protecting your money in ways most people never realize. If you enjoyed uncovering the hidden technology behind everyday life and want more stories like this, make sure to like and subscribe, and stay with us as we keep exploring the incredible science behind simple things.